Okay, so let us start the second class now. And this is paper 2. Welcome to Mother Tirunelveli Sundari Open University once again, Master of Arts, Political Science. The course name right now is Comparative Political Analysis. Course code is PLM 6212. I am your faculty, Panthor Devarma. And this is my contact. Email me if you have any queries. You can call me during the office hour in that given number over there. So let us start the second class. So for introduction of this session or this class, we are going to have this block 1, and there are 5 units. I hope you have received the SNM. In that you will find it all this block and units details. The comparative politics, comparing from the word itself, I think you can know it is about comparing something. What we are comparing is basically comparing the government system and the state. What is democracy, what is theocracy, what is aristocracy. These things are just comparison. Like British government system, Indian government system are quite the same. Both are parliamentary democracy. Okay. But there is also a monarchy system, okay, in the England, Britain, but in India there is no monarchy. Okay, there is a queen, is it not? You all know, I think, in British or in England, Britain, there is a queen, okay. But in India there is no king. So this is the difference. These are just the comparators. Compare this paper, try to compare one system with another. Okay, institution, behavior across nations. So how do the people in China behave, how do the people in India behave in political sense, that these things will be discussed. What is the nature of comparative politics, what are the approaches, okay, state theory, civil society, all these things will be compared. We'll discuss about worldview, what are the worldviews of different thinkers, like starting from Aristotle, the father of political science, to the modern and contemporary like Easton and Wallerstein, they are like modern views. So these things also will be discussed. Goal, global insight, policy prediction, democracy analysis. So what is the goal of comparing these things? Is that we are going to get overview about the global, what are the things happening globally, what are the policy prediction we can make, and what are the democratic analysis we can make from there. So these are the things for the session. So unit 1, what is comparative politics? Definition, basis, comparative politics. Systematic study of political system, institution, process, behavior across countries. So different countries have different system. Okay. Like in India, there is a voting. We vote and we give the we make our own government. That is the voting, is it not? So, but in North Korea, do you think there is a voting? There is no voting because they are the monarchy or dictatorship, whatever you call it. So this is a difference of how the country or the state is run. So this is the political system, institution, behavior across country. Goal. What is the goal of studying comparative politics? We find patterns and similarities, is it not? America and India is quite similar because we both have this election, and there is how we elect our prime minister and this president over in America. But there again there is a difference. This our one is called parliamentary democracy, and their one is presidential democracy. Okay, so there the president is holding all the power. Our place, the prime minister is having all the power. So there is a little bit difference also over there. Like, there is a stability of democracy in Europe. In Europe, you will not find much of instability in democracy. They are stable. But there is in Africa, anytime there can be a military coup. A military might take over. Some places are there where there is no proper democracy. It is weak. Okay, it can be broken down many a times. So focus on legal. We also compare the constitution of different countries. We consider the power of president and consider the power of prime minister and consider the power of parliament. These things will be discussed. Like Indian constitution is a written constitution. It is written in a book, but in Britain, this unwritten constitution. So these are the difference. More example, India is a multi-party. Many parties are there. Congress, BJP, Aam Aadmi Party, Samajwadi Party, okay, DNK, okay, then BSP. So there are many political parties in India, but in China there is only one political party. So these are the things differences we try to study, okay, and not just law. We are not only comparing the law, but also the different system. Nature and scope. What is the nature? Scientific, realistic, study actual process, behavior, culture beyond norms and legalism. Okay. In this paper, scientific study is made, not just what is good, what is bad, not only about norms, not only about what is right and what is wrong, but scientifically what is there, realistically study. Okay, so this is a nature of this subject. As John Blondell has written, study of national government patterns in contemporary world. He have made a statement that comparative politics is basically the study of national government patterns in contemporary. In today's world, what kind of national government patterns are there? That's what it tries to study. What is the scope? Scope of studying means we understand the political behavior, voting, and leadership. Whom do people vote? Maybe in India we can see people vote based on their caste. People vote based on their religion. People vote based on this type of thing, caste, religion. Okay, most visible is that they mostly vote on that caste and religion thing. Leadership. Okay, how the leadership it carries forward the political legacy. Leadership. Okay. Culture, attitude, political behavior. Okay. What is the political culture is there? Is it political culture? People are active, people are not active in the politics. In India, what do you think? Are people active in politics? You think about it. Are you active? Ask yourself that question. Are you actively participating in politics? That means if you're not active, that means the culture is that inactive political participation. High participation, high in US, low in some dictatorships. See, this is the thing. In US, you can see that almost everybody is going for voting in the election in America. But in some countries where there is dictatorship, there is very less number of voting, and these things pattern have been seen. Okay, so this is an interesting fact to remember. Include power legitimacy from Western democracy to non-Western. Okay, so how the democracy in the West world is different from the East or other parts of the world. These things also we'll discuss. So explain not just what law says, but how people, like example, intense violent protest versus formal parliament. So it is not just we are not in this subject. We are not just studying what is given, but we are actually studying what is actually happening. Are things happening to what have been planned? Okay, so actual analysis is done. In India, what we have seen is that there is a vibrant protest. That means you will see people are regularly protesting. Is it not? When there's an issue, people protest. So it is a study we can learn from here that India has a vibrant protest. People are active in participating, and parliament is just like a formality sometimes. So that thing also can be seen. So this is the nature and scope of studying the comparative political analysis. So what are the historical significance and historical evolution? Let's see. Why it matters plus roots. Significance builds global knowledge. Okay, globally we are able to build a knowledge. We are able to predict what is going to happen with the new policy. Example, welfare works better in social democracy. Okay, so the welfare system has been said to work in social democracy. Democracy को और भी strong बनाते हैं. It makes the democracy stronger by studying, comparing. People realize what is good, what is bad, so they improve it. Evolution. How did it improve? Who started first? This subject is Aristotle in 350 BCE, before Common Era. He started classified 158 constitution. It is not an easy task. That is why he is considered a father of political science, because he classified and divided 158 Greek constitution. Monarchy, aristocracy, democracy by rulers, classes, stability. These things have been classified by Aristotle. Polybius, okay, mixed constitution, Rome, balance for stability, Montesquieu, separation of power, influence. So these are the things what major contribution have been done like polybias about the mixed constitution. Okay. Stability. If you want to have stability, your constitution should be mixed, not one-sided. Mix here and there. Maybe mix with a bit of capitalism, maybe mix with a bit of socialism. Mix it, then it will become stable. So what do you think? Think again. What kind of constitution do India have? We can assume that India actually have a mixed constitution. India is also a capitalist plus socialist ideas are there in the preamble. Montesquieu talk about separation of power between the legislature, executive, and judiciary. So this separation of power have helped in balance of power and stability also. So Montesquieu has influenced the US and the France in this case. Okay. Later, Tocqueville's Democracy in America compared US and France. Okay. So later on, Tocqueville also has made given some theories and ideas like democracy and the timeline. Aristotle, Montesquieu to now we have modern. So these are the things of significant historical evolution. You need to a system approach. It's called David Easton. David Easton is a very popular thinker in this subject. So what did he say? You can see the picture here. This idea is political system input, process, output like a factory. Politics is like a factory. You ask something, you make it something, you give some result. Input demand. We demand for fixing the road. If there is a pothole in every road, what do we demand? We demand the road to be fixed. Support. We give support by taxes and votes from environment and society. Okay. Demand plus support, it will go together. After that, output, policies and decision, law and budget. Okay. Government will make the law, government will prepare budget, and they will do it. They will fix the road. After that, feedback. So if the citizens are unhappy, they will demand more. So this is how the feedback is made. So this process is going on like a cycle. Demand, support, tax, policymaker, they make the road and they make budget. Then again, if you are unhappy, you can demand again. So this is how the cycle continues. If there was some problem with the internet, so let's start again. Okay. So we're here. Okay, so this system keeps on going. It's called system approach. It is a system. Now, next, structural functional. This is Gabriel Almond, another thinker. He also talk about structure and functional. It's a structure and it function. Okay. So inspired by sociology like Parsons, Durkheim, structure, institution, perform function for system survival. Okay. When the system function, it survives. Key function adaptation adjust to change. Okay. When it's a structure institution, it has to do something to change, adjust to change, to survive, integration, unity. So this function in the political system, what they do is they try to adjust to change. It has to adapt to new changes. Integration, unity, this system, political system also brings in unity, pattern, maintenance, preserve culture. Okay? So in the political system, what other things they do is also maintenance, preserve culture. Culture को भी preserve करते हैं in the structural functional approach. So same in this input, output, society give input, interest, structure, parties, because output, stable policies. Okay, same thing like that earlier one. Again, society put the interest what we want. Then the parties and the bureaucracy they work and output is stable policies. So example in India, what happened is election structure integrate diverse group function. So in Indian election, what is that? People from different group, they come together and they give vote. So this is an example, very good example that election, it helps in unity. So structure is functioning well. So in election is helping people unite and come to vote. Say like body organs have executive palm policy for health. Okay, just an example. Our heart is pumping the blood. So our heart is like an executive. It's a structure, it is functioning for our blood to flow everywhere, so that everywhere the other things part of the body keeps on moving. So same thing also in politics also. There is a structure like an election, it keeps the democracy alive. So public policy approach plus critics. There is also thing public policy. In public policy, what you can compare? See, we are studying the comparative political analysis. So what do we compare in public policy? What we compare is that stages, agenda, problem, formulation, implementation, evaluation, India's Manrega versus US welfare. So first we identify the problem and we try to solve it. Like government is giving what kind of facility? Ration, food, subsidized food. Then what else? The government is building sometimes houses for the people. Okay, government is giving healthcare scheme. If you are a BPL or somebody in a low income, in government hospital you can get some treatment with some very good discount or little payment. So this is the implementation evaluation we can do when comparing this thing. What we can compare is India's Manrega with US welfare. What US is providing to its region, what India is providing. In India, we have Manrega, one of the very most popular for employability. When people are not able to find a job, government give them work for some payment. In US, what we can see sometimes is the student loan. Okay, US is popular for giving loans to the students who want to learn, who want to study, they give loan. So what are the critics of system functional is over stress, stability, ignore conflict resolution, too abstract, is the black box, conservative bias, justifies status quo. So sometimes this has been criticized that it is too abstract, too much theory, not much applicable. So it is sometimes criticized. So what is policy cycle? See, as I talk about policy, first is agenda setting. They will think what to do. Then they will try to make that policy. Then decision will be made. Then it will be implemented. It will be evaluated. Then again, this cycle goes on. Okay. Example of critique is ignore class war marks or India 1975 emergency breakdown. Okay. So too much structural and functional thing is that sometimes the structure it ignores the major problems like class war, which Karl Marx has said, and the function also led down to the emergency of 1975. So these are just examples. So unit 3, political economy dependency and world system, very important. So how to link politics with economy? Let's see. Marxist roots. Society by production, feudal, capitalist, socialist, state reflects class power. So how society is connected with politics, I mean economic is connected with politics, is that production, according to Karl Marx, production is the most important factor contributing to social evolution. Okay. First it was feudalism, after that capitalism, after that socialism. So economic, the production, it controls the state. That's what they're trying to say. Because production and these things is very much linked according to Karl Marx. Key factor: exploitation, class struggle, shape politics, bourgeois states favor rich. So how does economy affect politics? Is there exploitation is there due to money? And class struggle, it is there, it shapes the politics. So according to them, feudal Europe, king, landlord, capitalist, corporation policy. So we can compare like feudal Europe, it was there, and capitalist corporation influence policy. Like, okay, in Europe, the kings and the landlord, they affect the policy. That means those who are economically strong, they always influence the policy. Just like in the capitalist world, capitalist West, maybe America and other countries, European countries, those who are the rich people, they always influence the politics. So that's what they mean to say. Okay. In India, after 1991, economy drives politics. What do you think? Our economy is very important. Can money influence the politics? What do you think? You think about it. So India is growing. If India is growing, is it benefiting all the class or just the rich people? It's also a question to know. Poor periphery exploitation. Okay, this is a theory. This is an idea. Who have given previous Henry Gunder Frank underdevelopment caused by unequal global trade. Okay. It is said that some countries in the world are very rich, their business is very strong, some people are very poor. So this is the idea. India, idea rich core US, Europe. So those are the rich countries, they are trying to always collect the funds and money from the poor people. Like the Europe, US, okay, they are collecting from the poor people like America, Africa, India via raw materials. So this is an idea that these people are exploiting the poor country. Red result dependency, Latin America debt solution import substitution. So an example is that the Latin America and the South America are in huge debt because they have been given money. You take the money, but after you take the money, you are under their control. So you have to be very much careful. So what is the criticism is that this thing they talk about that the rich country are exploiting the poor country, but it forgets to mention important factors like corruption, which is very much a problem for any country. Example, India export cotton chip, import iPhone expensive dependence. So see, India is importing our cotton chip, but we are importing the iPhone rich. Okay. So this is that example. Okay, we are just buying that high price product, and what we are sending is just something cheap, which is a cotton. Okay. Wall system is a very important theory once again by Wallerstein. Okay. There are three types of countries according to him. Core industrial leaders, US, one of the most advanced industry. After that, periphery, raw export from Africa. They take all the materials from Africa. Semi-periphery means dependent but not so dependent. Periphery means very dependent. India is semi. It is rising, but still it is being exploited by the rich countries. So we should remember that. Single economic device level globally since 16th century. So since 16th century, this system has been going on. Dynamic store dominates, mobility rare. Example, China's periphery rise. Okay. So what are things happening here is that the rich country always exploit the poor country. So we should always remember that. Persistent inequality despite development aid. Okay. So inequality is still there between lots of countries. So unit 4 is the social contract theory of state. How did state come? Like most important, Hobbes, Locke, and Rothschild. We can see here the classical foundation. How did state come? State, then we have country, state. How did we have it? It is more detailedly discussed in Western political thought, but here let us compare. According to Hobbes' Leviathan book, state ends war of all with all. According to him, when there was no state, there is always war of people are fighting against each other. So they make a powerful government for security so that everybody's life is safe. Locke, he said to protect our property and personal life, okay, government was formed. But if the government fell, then we have the right to revolt, fight against the government. So government was brought, state was brought because to protect the life and property according to John Locke. Rousseau, what did he say? General will direct equality over individual. So general will, that means to bring the collective goal of our society, we need the government, collective goal for everybody's benefit. So we are focusing more on the group requirement, not the personal requirement, according to Rousseau. So common state from voluntary contract, not divine natural. Hobbes strong king, law limited government like India's constitution. So what is the thing is that Hobbes has always talked about the strong king, very strong, powerful government. But law we talk about a limited government like Indian constitution, that the government should not become too powerful. Okay. So let's take a quick look at this video about the social contract theory.
Social contract theory is the idea that people agree to form societies and accept certain rules in exchange for protection, order, and benefits. Social contract theory is the idea that people agree to form societies and accept certain rules in exchange for protection, order, and benefits. It suggests that individuals give up some personal freedoms to create a structured society where laws and governments ensure security and fairness. A social contract is an unwritten agreement that allows people to live cooperatively rather than in constant conflict. This theory is often used to explain why governments exist and what responsibilities they have. Social contract theory is the idea of the Enlightenment period. Philosophers developed different versions of the theory to explain how governments should function and why individuals agree to be governed. Some believed that without a social contract, society would be chaotic while others argue that governments must serve the people's interests to maintain legitimacy. Over time, social contract theory influenced the development of modern political systems, shaping ideas about democracy, individual rights, and the relationship between citizens and the state. Now let's look at some examples of the social contract in action. Social contract theory can be seen in many aspects of modern life. One example is the legal system, where citizens agree to follow laws in return for safety and justice. Another example is taxation, where people contribute a portion of their income to support public services such as roads, schools, and emergency services. Voting in elections is also an example, as it represents participation in the system that governs society. In workplaces, employees agree to follow company policies in exchange for job security and wages. These examples show how individuals accept certain responsibilities in exchange for the benefits of an organised society. Now let's explore some strengths of social contract theory. One major strength of social contract theory is that it provides a clear explanation of why societies form and why governments exist. It emphasises fairness, as laws and policies are meant to apply equally to all members of society. Another strength is that it promotes cooperation, encouraging individuals to work together for the common good rather than acting only in their self-interest. Additionally, the idea of a social contract supports the concept of accountability, as it suggests that governments must serve the needs of the people in order to maintain legitimacy. Because of these strengths, social contract theory remains a key foundation for modern political thought. Now let's consider some weaknesses of social contract theory. Despite its strengths, social contract theory has some weaknesses. One challenge is that the agreement between individuals and the government is not always equal, as some groups may have fewer rights or resources than others. Another issue is that people do not actively agree to the contract, since they are born into society rather than choosing to follow its rules. Additionally, enforcing the social contract can be difficult, as disagreements arise over what responsibilities the government should have and what rights individuals should prioritise. While social contract theory provides a useful framework for understanding society, it does not always account for power imbalances or different perspectives. Now let's look at some alternatives to social contract theory. An alternative to social contract theory is the concept of natural rights, which argues that people have fundamental rights that exist regardless of government or societal agreements. Unlike social contract theory, which suggests that rights come from an agreement between individuals and the state, natural rights theory states that rights are inherent and cannot be taken away. Another alternative is utilitarianism, which focuses on achieving the greatest good for the greatest number of people, rather than following a theoretical contract. While social contract theory provides a structured way of understanding governance, different philosophical perspectives offer alternative explanations for the role of government and individual rights.
Okay, so that was about the social contract theory and the comparison.
Social contract theory is the idea.
So now we are moving to unit 4, that is Marxism and alternative views. What are the other views about the state? We are here comparing, this is a comparative political analysis, so we are comparing different views about the state. According to Marxists, it is the ruling class who is always controlling the state and exploitation. Like the rich people are always exploiting the poor people through the state system, according to Karl Marx and Marxism, all the thinkers are there. So the ruling class, the rich people are always controlling everything in the society, according to them. Pluralist idea is that competition of group, okay, so neutral referee. Okay, there is like a referee, so we give chance to all the group to participate. This is called the pluralist theory. In Gandhian thought, it is called minimal police state, true power via violence, non-violence, Swaraj. According to Gandhiji, okay, the state should be not police state that police government is watching you do that, watching you do that. It should be minimal interference and non-violence should be there. Example, India state progress on paper, Marxian in inequality. So just think about it. So what is Marxism? Is social political economy, but Karl Marx, capitalism, labor product economy for workers, capitalism. So he's always talking about the working class. The poor class are always exploited according to Karl Marx, and in the future they want a revolution. So if you compare here to this all this theory about the state, you will see that Hobbes talk about absolute order keeper and dictatorship. Marxian, class dominated and capitalist. Gandhian, ethical minimum, Gandhi Billes Panchayat. Pluralist, Robert Dahl is the most profound interest balancer, US lobbying. So in the unit 5, we talk about state, civil society relations. What are the key concepts? See, you will see always people are going to strike and NGO and union and all. So what about them? Let us compare. So state is a formal institution, government, bureaucracy, and law. These are just the formal institution like the legislature, okay, parliament, state assembly. So these are the formal institution. But we have also civil society, okay, like NGO, voluntary groups, union, media, protest outside state, family, market. Okay, state government is not only the actor in society. We have many more like NGO, union, media, and protest. Okay, these are also very much important groups to be studied. What is the relation between state and civil society? Mutual influence. State regulates, civil checks, abuses. Is it not? Whenever government is doing something, you will see the media and the what is that? The news channel people, they always criticize the government. You know, this budget is like this. The budget prepared by the finance minister is not good. It is not like this. So this is a balance. We criticize or the news parties, they criticize the government. So that's how it is done. And relation, okay, core tension, autonomy, independence, service, control, state dominance. Okay, so what is the relation between the union, trade groups, and government? Is that the government is trying to control everything, and these voluntary groups, they are trying to maintain their independence. So there is a tension between their power. So evolving pattern, what we can see is that corporation, NGO are being now helped by the government also. Conflict, protest versus policies. In example, RTI, Right to Information Act, in empower civil, empower state secrecy, farmer protest to detention. These are the example of this state civil society example. Globally, where strong lobbying like NRA, Asian grassroots, Australian states. So these are just example what are happening across the globe. What trend we have seen now is globalization, strength, transnational civil, Greenpeace versus climate policy. So what we can see is that this globalization has strengthened these global institutions now. So what we have seen here basically is the importance of civil society. Not only the political institutions are important, but all the other civil societies are also equally important. So we have come to the end part of our first lecture on comparative political analysis. What elements are there? First, we have said that this is scientific study, not just formal legal study or institution. This is scientific. We have to this subject to study scientifically. So what we have seen is that no party or no political system is a perfect one. Okay, everyone has a different system of political parties. Like India is a pluralism and China is efficiency. China is very much moving forward, even though they have a single party system. So nothing is perfect. Everybody has their own system. We will talk about a dependency theory, whether the rich country are exploiting the poor country, okay, by taking cheap product and they are selling costly product to the poor countries. So these things have helped in policy making and global to address global challenges from ancient to modern time. This kind of analysis that we are comparing, it help in policy making and changes in society. So thank you again for joining this class. We have two questions: differentiate comparative policy from comparative government. Okay. Comparative government is only comparing the government. This government is hard, this government. But comparative politics means it is discussing government plus civil society and other actors in the political system. Name two as input in system theory: input, interest, and demand. These two are the main input. Okay. If you have any question, open, you can ask. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next class as per the timing. Thank you so much. Next session, when we started this subject, next weekend, we'll be starting the block. Thank you so much. See you in the next class. I'll see you in the next class.